Good morning everyone. It's a kind of first day of this Innovation Week here in capital of science of Europe in Latvia. At least for this half year we are proud to be a presidency, but also now for this week a capital of science, because you, scientists, decision makers and probably some entrepreneurs as well are here. So we are very welcoming you here in Riga, in very specific place as well for our independence of the country. It is a Latvian society house. We may say that actually it is more or less in these halls here a decision to found a country that will shortly celebrate 100 years of anniversary. Decision was taken. Well, proclamation happened a few houses ahead, but anyway, it's here. So please feel welcome and be inspired with each and other idea that will follow here on a stage and somehow appear in the corridors and couloirs and coffee pauses, because the whole purpose is also to exchange ideas. It's not only to have them. The innovation is somewhere in between two scientists. It's almost never in the head of just one particular scientist. So welcome to speak, welcome to exchange, welcome to smile to each other. So this week, the Wire 2015, is actually online, as many things here in the presidency of the European Union. And if there are some colleagues, some friends who didn't manage to come to Riga, then it's very easy. You just go to the website, the same website where you made your registration before coming, and you just ask them to join. And also, you yourself here from the hall, and also colleagues from all over the world, actually, you may say, could join us in a Twitter account by using hashtag TheWire2015. You are free to comment. We accept all kinds of comments or thoughts or anything you want to say. But of course, I'm here also to facilitate. If you will have any questions, doubts or something, this is a wireless microphone. I can run to you when you raise a hand later on. Now, for official opening of this whole week, I'd like to ask Minister of Education and Science of Republic of Latvia, Mrs. Marita Seile, to open this event officially.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really my great honor and pleasure to welcome you all here at this week of innovative regions in Europe. Rich in content and participation, this event today and tomorrow turns Riga into the European Center for Innovation. This conference is a grand teamwork, and on behalf of the Latvian Ministry of Education and Science, and as one of the organizers, I would like first of all to express my gratitude to all other parties involved in making this particular event happen. My thanks to the Latvian State Education Development Agency and the European Commission for all the work invested to prepare this event. Speaking on investment, when it comes to investment innovation, Europe has walked a long way since 2010, when the first WIRE conference took place in Granada. Over the past 5 years, WIRE has become an expected event in Europe's research and innovation calendar. I hope this will not change. Being a key event in facilitation of the European innovation development, WIRE shows our readiness to address areas where all partners, business, science, and policymakers can offer an added value. This event makes sure that Europe has a solid and ongoing dialogue in place, which fuels real results on a regional, national, and EU level. In 2010, we were just beginning to set the framework for research, innovation, and cohesion policies. We have witnessed regulations being drafted and adopted, calls for proposals under Horizon 2020 being evaluated, and beginning with the first projects. In other words, with the assistance of policymakers, we see a smoother flow of ideas from labs to markets. Economic growth is increasingly related to the capacity of regional economies to change and innovate. Regions and cities have become the key units where knowledge is transferred, innovation systems are built, and competition to attract investments and talents takes place. Innovation-driven growth is a major objective of the post-crisis recovery. Policymakers increasingly recognize the role that regions play in cultivating, attracting, and retaining innovative people and firms. And indeed, it is cities and regions that are competing with each other in the global economy today. Many regions are located along international borders and working with their neighbors across the border to offer innovation-driven growth opportunities. Thus, the increasing globalization of innovation motivates regions to think beyond the borders. But borders do remain as a barrier. To break this, we need to prioritize investments, focusing on strong areas of specialization with high potential for growth and differentiation has led regions to develop smart specialization strategies that encourage entrepreneurial discovery process. Strong links between Innovation Union and European Research Area in implementation of Smart Specialisation Strategy are really very important. And it is very essential in the context of the Europe 2020 strategy, the annual growth survey, and the new investment plan for Europe. In order to contribute to the Europe 2020 strategy, research and innovation should be based on networks without barriers and use of the full potential of national research and innovation systems. Since January 2015, being at the helm of Europe's political discussions, Latvia has focused on three keywords for Europe: competitiveness, competitive, digital, and engaged. Against this backdrop, WIRE is a very timely and tailor-made event for the Latvian presidency. Consolidation of resources to maximize their effect is one of the issues to be discussed during this conference, and it has been debated also all through Latvian presidency during the past almost half a year. And similarly is the question of open data, which leads to open innovation, boosts new business models, ideas, and innovative startups. Less than a week ago, this larger untapped resource was debated at the Competitiveness Council chaired by the Latvian presidency in Brussels. And no coincidence that the very same issue, open access to data and transfer of knowledge, will be covered here at the conference. Moreover, the sixth WIRE conference covers not only timely and very relevant, but also some really very complex issues. For example, the innovation divide within the EU. And this topic is very familiar to Latvia too, particularly if we look at the Innovation Union scoreboard. Latvia is marked as a modest innovator. However, according to the scoreboard, Latvia has set the overall fastest growing innovation index of 3.4%. And with a very strong performance increase between 2013 and 2014. However, there is still a lot to do and quite a lot to catch up with stronger performers. And with an ambitious goal to divert 1.5% of GDP to investments in R&D by 2020, Latvia is currently undergoing government-backed structural reforms to consolidate resources and really to make our innovation system much stronger and much competitive. And we must build up our diverse knowledge base and develop competitiveness of higher education and research institutions. We align ourselves with the principle that an increasing investment in research and innovation should be spent in the most possibly effective way and most possible efficient way. And we must aim at producing much bigger benefits also for our society. And I would like really to emphasize that successful economies are characterized by high productivity delivered through the application of fresh thinking and new techniques. But this demands very clear focus on innovation and developing innovative mindsets. And afterwards, it will lead to economic prosperity of our cities, our regions, our countries, and Europe as a very strong competitive entity. And with that, I would like really to wish to all of you a very productive and inspiring days here in Latvia. Have a very successful time here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Minister Ms. Seele. Actually, it's about also sometimes hard decisions, isn't it? It's decision whether I should now go and commercialize, for example, my idea, or any kind of different challenges you may face every day, I guess even more than us journalists. I'm a journalist myself, than you scientists. It's also about political decisions. Yesterday, if you noticed, we had a quite hard day. If you noticed, these who came yesterday already, Latvians were a little bit nervous. And we were not making these hashtags about Wire 2015 yet. We were searching for a news, if there is a president. So there is a president of the country, newly elected. Yesterday, it was around 6 o'clock something. And now, the good news is that now, when we start this conference, the whole parliamentarians, at least those who work in this Committee of Education, Culture and Science, can really focus on the science, how to make this whole idea, what was mentioned by Minister before, alive. So this is why I ask also the chairman of this very committee from the Saima, from the Latvian Parliament, Mr. Jānis Vucāns, to give his thoughts. Please.
Good morning. Really, State of Latvia elected deputies of Parliament yesterday elected new president of the state, and we are happy for that. But now I am turning to you, distinguished participants of the Week of Innovative Regions in Europe 2015. I have an honor to address you on behalf of the Parliament of Latvia and its Committee on Education, Culture and Science. I would like to greet you in Latvia, currently the presiding country of the Council of European Union, in our capital city, Riga. Riga and Latvia, starting from the very beginning of the 20th century, even before the establishing of our independent state, have been known as very appropriate place for technical and technological innovations. I would like to mention only a few examples. First of them relates to the famous Russo-Balt racing car, which won in more than 100 years ago, in 1912 and 1913, the prestigious, for that time, St. Petersburg, Monte Carlo race competition, and was the first car in the world that went up to the Vesuvio mountain in Italy. This car was constructed and produced in Russo-Balt wagon factory in Riga, our capital. My second example relates to the famous among spies of different countries during the first half of 20th century mini photo camera Minox, constructed in 1936 by inventor Walter Zaps, who worked for the Latvian state's electrotechnical factory, VEF, which became later the brand name of the business of Latvia. The production of this very miniature and legendary photo camera was continued after the Second World War in Minox Ltd company in Germany up to the year 2012. The third example relates to nowadays and is only one of many innovative solutions made in Latvia after regaining independence of our state in 1991. And this example is based on fundamental research work. It relates to the field of pharmacy and biochemistry, and to the famous heart and vascular medication mildronate. This medication is developed in Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis by our distinguished academician Professor Ivars Kalviņš, who is one of the 3 finalists for European Inventors Award of this year for lifetime achievements. The medication mildronate is one of brand products of Latvian pharmaceutical company Grindex, developed and improved in close cooperation of scientists and business enterprise. But there are also not so good examples in the history of innovations of Latvia. We have the story about the anti-cancer medication Belinostat, registered now in United States, but chemical formula of which is developed in the same Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis. But due to the absence of ability to attract the funding from local, regional and European sources for its testing and medical trials, the main part of very significant financial profit coming from the development of this medication now goes to some company abroad, which made appropriate investments in this development. And only a very small proportion from that profit goes to Latvian researchers and to Latvian state, which have put its money in the basis of that product in the corresponding fundamental research. And this example shows very clearly how important is to have a smart laws to stimulate and to support innovative process, how important is to have a good cooperation networks between researchers, business people, and local, regional or European level public institutions to work for the common task to make life of our people better and their welfare higher, to make investments in research, development and innovations in the better possible way to realize such task. I would like to say that this is also the task for international cooperation. And as the Vice President of the Baltic Assembly, which is an interparliamentary cooperation organization for parliaments of all 3 Baltic countries, Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia, I would like to inform you that the topics of complex cooperation in the fields of research, development and innovation have been in the focus of this interparliamentary organization, especially during last years, trying to coordinate the development of smart specialization strategies for our 3 countries. And based on my personal experience, I can say that this is very hard, but from the other side, also a very challenging task. To my mind, this common task to make life of our people better and their welfare higher, to my mind, must be also between the main tasks in the work of this Week of Innovative Regions in Europe 2015, which now we are opening here in Riga. And as I said before, Riga and Latvia is very appropriate places for discussions, for exchanges of experiences and opinions, for finding solutions on problems related to research, development, and innovation topics. So, I wish for all of us very fruitful work. Thank you for attention.
Thank you.